You a bad mother.
Shut your mouth.
And one thing I really want to know for up-and-coming artists is, like, how do you find that balance between working relationships, building that network with those people that you need to build with you know, engineers, producers, and also spending time with your family. We all have mothers, fathers, cousins, friends, brothers. Some of us have kids. Like, how do you find that perfect balance?
Well, I think first of all, you just gotta, one, you have to prioritize, you know. Your career is important, but your family come first. And if you really taking care of your family and, you know, putting your family in and making them feel important, then they'll be even more supportive. I found, because I've had both happen, you know, where, you know, I wasn't appreciating, you know, my girl that I had at the time or whatever like that. And so she felt kind of boxed out, left out. She didn't know what was going on or things like that, or, you know. But oftentimes when you know, put your family first and you invite your family into the process with you, you know, your family and your friends. A lot of your family members or friends, you know, they vicariously live in that, you know, through you, because everybody in your family can't play an instrument. Everybody can't write music or do shows or things like that. And so they're vicariously living through you.
It kind of sounds like that's another one of those sacrifices you pretty much have to make. You're going to miss out on family reunions. You're going to miss out on some birthdays, you know.
Yeah.
But I see what you're saying about putting family first, and then, you know, they see your ultimate vision.
I think it's a flip side to that, though, because that's in some cases, but in other cases, like you said, people want to live vicariously through you.
Right.
But sometimes that crosses the line. It's almost like, okay, now I'm a superstar by association, so now I need to be a part of everything that you do. And sometimes you have to tell people, like, okay, now you jumping into my business, and that's causing a conflict. And a lot of people can't handle that. They're like, well, you know, you changing ever since that, you know, you started messing with this person or that person with this situation.
Right.
And I think sometimes that's where it gets to a point to where a lot of people end up having to choose between their career and this friendship or this relationship, because at the end of the day, entertainment is one of those things to where if you're not an entertainer, a lot of what goes on in the industry, you're just not going to understand anyway.
I'm saying, like, with family, you know, I found it where I've been in both situations. You know, when I was, you know, in the streets and everything and chasing the music at that point, I sacrificed my family tremendously, and my career didn't necessarily go to where I wanted it to go. And, you know, I regretted a lot of that.
Right.
And then on the flip side of that, I started doing, you know, the life music things I do now.
Right.
And I put my family first, you know, made my family priority, made my family feel important and everything like that. And it's like I can't stop it from growing.
But how do you deal with the people that, even though you try to, you know, prioritize, how do you deal with the people that just don't understand what you're doing is, you know, yeah, this is my dream or whatever, but I'm also going towards this as a career to help you out. How do you deal with those people like that?
This is one thing that I'm glad, and I thank Bang Artist Development for doing things like this, is because you're also teaching artists that to be an artist is not this careless responsibility, you know, what people have created it to be.
Right.
To be an artist, a person with a microphone, is a very important thing. It's a huge responsibility. And when you're an artist, you are a leader. Right. You know, you're shaping the ideas. This is what people are combing their hair to in the morning as they're getting ready to go create something else, you know, science or whatever, right? And so artists are leaders, you know? Right. So being a leader, to answer your question, being a leader, you know, you have to guide those people around you, because they're looking for you for leadership, because you're the voice. You're the voice. You're the whatever that may be, whether it be a voice in with a guitar, whether you're the voice in writing or whatever. They're looking at you as a leader, not to just, you know, pursue putting your face on a CD. That's the easiest thing you can do. You know,
millions of people do that.
Yeah, but assume the responsibility and your role as a leader. That don't necessarily mean, I know some people shun the ideal of being a role model. That's cool, I get that. But the bottom line is assuming the responsibility and the role as a leader, that when I step to this microphone, I'm not speaking for just me. I'm speaking for my family. I'm speaking for my block. I'm speaking for my city, my nation, and so on and so forth.
How do you handle this situation? You've been boys with somebody from the time you were 6 years old. Y'all been through thick and thin, done everything together. Now you've chosen this as a career. You focused on it and you say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a superstar. And you're doing the necessary things. Now, this person has still been by your side. You've still been taking care of them. Now comes that point to where, let's say this person has no talent at all. Now it's like, let me be on your album.
Again, it comes with the situation, Ty, of being a leader. And a leader has to make, the coach has to make the harsh decisions of who's going in and who's coming out. The coach has to make the harsh decisions. You know, I always learned, you know, live and die by your call. You know, once you make the call, hey, live and die by it. If I say you can't get on it, you can't get on it. I don't have to sit and explain it, but that's my role as a leader. You know, it's like with your child, you know, you tell your kid, you know, look, you know, can I have some milk? Nah, it's not that ain't no milk available, but I might just want you to drink some water right now. Because I've been noticing you ain't been drinking no water. You understand? It's like they're looking to you as an artist. People are looking to artists to lead them. Okay? Artists are leaders. When you have a microphone, you're a leader. A politician, you know, a preacher, whoever, you got that microphone, you're a leader.
And you do have to live and die by your call. At the end of the day, either people are going to be on board with you 100%, or when the time comes, you really going to see people for who they are. And what we want artists to understand is you cannot be afraid to make those decisions, because even though this is somebody you've grown up with your entire life, you have to think about the grand scheme of things. Where do you want to see yourself, your family, even if, let's say it's not even a friend, let's just say it's a family member. You want to do, as a leader, you want to do the best that you can do to provide for everybody, even if that means pissing you off, or you not being part of the picture, because I'm not going to bring myself down just because you're not happy with me being up.
Because you allow your friends to, you know, kind of dictate what you do, as opposed to just saying, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. You can like it or you can hate it, and you know, we have our little spat over it or whatever, and go about our business. But that's why so many of them are stuck. Like you said, they're loyalty to a fault. So it's an issue with that.
Transitioning to industry relationships, that's the great thing about the Bang Artist Development. You know, we basically building a family. If we're, you know, and instead of just doing business with each other, this thing could be huge. It could be great. All of these like-minded people, you know, great in their own individual aspects, bringing something to the table.
I'm glad you said that, transitioning into the industry, especially with groups. When you have somebody that feels like, okay, you're getting all the shine, like you're getting all of this, and if you have that talk prior to that, and everybody knows that, okay, this is how we're gonna work this. I'm gonna do this, you're gonna do this, and as long as we do what we're supposed to do, we're gonna be fine. When those lines aren't determined already, that's where all the problems come.
And on the flip side of that coin is, you know, just saying, you know, those functions that I'm gonna miss, making sure that you are at certain things. You know what I mean? You can choose your friends, you can't choose your family.
True.
And so with your family, you may have some fallouts with certain members of your family or whatever like that, and that's understandable in any family. But I encourage anybody, you know, man, listen, this life ain't get no shorter or no sweeter, you know. And so those moments that you can spend with your family, make them special. You know, and don't let chasing your dream be an excuse to not spend time with your family.
Now let's transition that into relationships deeper. Now let's talk about relationships with like your significant other, like your girl or your guy. Now how do you handle situations like that? Now so far we've been talking about artists that are trying to come up. Now let's say you've made it to where you want to get to, and you've made your family a priority the whole time. Now you're at a point to where you're torn. Now you're gone for months at a time, and like things are going back and forth. How do you handle those relationships with the one you left at home, and now things are starting to go on? Like, what are you doing on the road? Like,
to me, nobody will really understand unless they go through it. But just find somebody that's willing to, you know, take that chance with you, and then once they do, surprise them every once in a while. Don't just be like, okay, I'm on the road. You get a little time off somewhere in between. You know, be spontaneous. Don't just be on the road all the time and
Right.
the days off.
It's like if it's gonna work, it's gonna work.
Exactly.
You know, if you want it to work, you're gonna make it work. If it's not gonna work, it's not gonna work. You know, because there are some people that's not gonna be able to deal with that. You know, with you being on the road,
Right.
or even in the studio all night long. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're not gonna be able to deal with that.
Say for instance, you make plans with your significant other, but now you got something on the table that's worth like some good money that came up at the last minute. Do you turn that down and say, look, babe, we got to reschedule this, but knowing that it's going to benefit you and that person in the end of the day, do you
Just knowing where you are at that moment, you know, how much money do you need at that moment? You know what I mean? you know what I'm saying? I mean, but you know, you live and die by your call. But you know, I think communication, being a leader, well, you know, we say artist, I say leader. Being a leader is not just about communicating to the people you're trying to reach.
Yeah.
It's about communicating backwards too, communicating to the people behind you, people around you, the people that surround you. Communicate to the people that love you. You know, if you got a boo at home, a wife, a girlfriend, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, if that's your main person that's holding you down, keep that line of communication open, even if it means arguing a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, but keep that line of communication going.
My final words on it is going to be really understand what you're trying to do in your career. Understand what the sacrifices are and what they potentially can be. Plan for them the best that you can, and make the tough decisions if you have to. But if you know that this is what you want to do, don't let anybody, friend, family, deter you, because in this life you only get one life. So go after what you want to go for.
Kind of to elaborate on everything. Know who exactly is in your corner. Make sure you take the time out and spend time with them, but at the same time, keep that line of communication open and let them know that, you know, I'm doing this to better our situation, or, you know, this is what I want to do. Just bear with me at the moment. Also, don't let your friends dictate what you're going to do. Don't let them tell you, well, you need to do this, or you need to let me put you on the album. No. If they don't have the talent, let them sit where they are. Let them be friends. If they can help you and assist you, then let them help you and assist you.
My final would be, I know, because everybody's different. You know, for you, find that balance that's going to work for you. Definitely put family first, because at the end of the day, you said something key. You can't choose your family. You can choose your friends. So put them first. Find that balance that's going to work for you.
Exactly.
And keep it moving.
My thing is for every artist to just develop a sense of leadership and understand that you're not just here to entertain and be a court gesture, but you actually a leader.
But we would like to thank Leeway Music.
You a bad mother.
Shut your mouth.